and for that I'm grateful. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself for all of you, or for people that don't know me. I'm a 61-year resident of Paramus. I was the mayor of Paramus for 8 years. I was a councilman for 3. I've been a volunteer firefighter in Paramus for 38 years. Been the chief of the department twice, which is one of the proudest moments that I've had in my adult career, leading of a fire department that is an outstanding group of men and women to protect the people of Paramus. I've volunteered through coaching through my sons and daughters, now even with my granddaughter, and my family background. I have 3 children. They're all grown. I have 6 grandchildren. Unfortunately, at the age of 55, I became a widower. My wife passed away. And the reason that there's a gap in my elected official time was my term ended as mayor in 2010. And at that time, my wife just had passed away. And then during my last year as mayor, I was diagnosed with cancer. So what I decided was I needed to have time. I had also made a promise to my wife that if she was still alive, I wouldn't run for re-election. I'd take care of her. So given those 2 things, I didn't run for re-election, and that's why I wasn't in office when I ran for freeholder last year. But it gave me time to have a perspective on life, and what I found was that I see life through softer eyes today. Part of my past has been someone that's always wanted to work hard and accomplish as much as I could. But at the end of the day, when you look back at it, what did you really accomplish? Though I did great things when I was the mayor and being fire chief and things like that, there were also times that I didn't have enough time to spend with my children and my wife and things like that. So when you think about that, that's what the softer eyes are part of. So it's made me look at life differently. But I also knew that I had a passion to continue to want to serve. And my life has been about serving and about caring for people. And so that's why when I was asked to run for freeholder in 2013, I decided that it was time that I got back into serving people. And bringing it to the level at the county gave me an opportunity to do the things, or at least look at doing the things that I did in Paramus, and bring that to us, to the county and at a larger scale. And those of you that know about Paramus, we all live in great communities. Paramus has a lot of different things happening in the town on a day-to-day basis. It's a large town. There are many components to the town, and it's really a small picture of what Bergen County looks like. And so what it did for me is it made me realize that what I did in Paramus, I can do here in Bergen County. And so that's why I ran for freeholder, and I was very proud that though Bergen County was carried by a Republican governor with 50,000 votes, I won the 2nd highest amount of votes in the freeholder race. So I was proud of how I ran my campaign and how I became a freeholder. I have to tell you, since I've been here for 6 months, it's been an enlightening experience. And I say that in a number of ways. It's very different than municipal government, especially when you're the mayor. Because when you're the mayor, and people come to you and ask you to do something, or they need your help or something, you can pretty much dictate how it gets done and when it gets done. Because when the mayor picks up the phone and calls the health people, or calls the DPW, or calls the police department, those people usually react pretty quick. As a freeholder, it's a little different. But what I've realized is there's a lot of opportunity, and I think that's the different perspective I've brought to the board in the 6 months I've been here. I've worked hard on the budget. I believe I've raised issues and made differences in the way the budget was looked at this year. One of the things that I'm proud of is that this budget doesn't increase the taxes of the people of Bergen County, while it added money to areas where money had been taken away. We also I also asked questions, and in asking those questions, we found that there were pockets of money that were known, but were not known how they were used. And that when you bring it into the forefront and you bring it into the picture of budgeting, you can actually look at it and say, wait, there are funds there that can be used, and we did use them, and we used them prudently, and that helped us with reducing the budget so that there's no tax increase. I'm comfortable and I'm proud that my view and the way my past experience in Paramus helped me with the process of doing the budget this year. And that's one of the biggest issues that we all have. Because why? The budget affects everything. It affects the people of Bergen County and the services that we provide. It affects the amount of money that we can pay people, salary and wages. It affects how our bond rating is, so that when we go out to borrow money, we borrow money at the cheapest rate so that we can do other things to make improvements in the infrastructure inside the buildings that the county owns. So the budget is the nucleus of everything. And to me, that's why I spent so much time on the budget. And I'm proud that the chairman has said that Jim Tedesco asked to have a zero increase budget, and was it possible? And it was possible with a lot of hard work. And so at the end of the day, I want you to know that we crafted this budget, we put this budget together with the understanding that it was going to benefit the residents of Bergen County, the employees of the county, the vendors of the county, and the investors in the county. And at the end of the day, with very good and prudent fiscal management, we are at the precipice of being able to look not only today but in the future on how we continue to craft budgets that are fair and equitable to everybody. And let me just say that that's one of the things that I want you to know about who I am. I am a person that believes in sitting across the table and having a dialogue and talk. My door as the mayor was always open. You can go to any of the unions in Paramus and talk to any of the Teamsters, the PBA, the PSEA, the PEA, the OPIU, all of the unions. And I guarantee you talk to every one of the union leaders and they'll say the thing that we liked about the mayor was we could knock on his door and he would talk to us face to face. I may not have always agreed with them, and they may have not always agreed to me, but at the end of the day, I cared about what they had to say, and I listened. And most of the time, we were able to come to something that worked for both of us. One of the things I like to talk about is, at the end of the day, when you and I get up from the table, neither one of us should be happy. But we should both get up from the table knowing that both of us can leave there with an understanding of why those things happen. So I am a person that wants to compromise. I'm a person that wants to work. I'm the person that wants to try to do what's right for on both sides or on any side, but not one side. I don't believe in litigating I don't believe setting government policy by litigation. I believe that you need to do it through negotiation. So, that's a little bit about me. Let me tell you for the first 6 months what I've done. I've gone to the Law and Public Safety Center, made a tour there. I've gone to the jail, made a tour there. I've gone to the homeless shelter, made a tour there. I've gone to the nursing home, made a tour there. I've made a tour of this building. I have plans to go to the other county facilities. I should say I've been through a tour through the court also. And why? Because I believe it's important for me to have an understanding and knowledge about the county facilities and about the buildings that we own and the buildings. I will say that I don't need to go on a tour of Bergen Regional Center because I've been in there hundreds and hundreds of times, both as a fireman and as other reasons. So I know the building inside out. I know every tunnel. I know every steam pipe. I know everything in the place. So, but I felt that that's my obligation as somebody that's coming in as the steward of the money of the county. I believe I should have a knowledge of what the infrastructure of the county looks like and what's taking place within the county. And you know, part of that means that I want to know what we should be investing money in and what we shouldn't be investing money in. The other piece of it is that you just can't ignore improvements, and you just can't ignore not making or not putting money into facilities, because at the end of the day it's going to cost you a lot more. So part of what happened when I was the mayor of Paramus, the previous administration wanted to hold the tax line. So part of it was don't bond any money and do as little maintenance and spend as little as you can. The problem with that is when things start to break down or crumble, it costs a large amount of money to fix. And so that's what I was saddled with. And so what I did was I just changed the model. I fixed what we could do, and then I bonded lots of money in order to make those capital and big improvements, so that today the mayor doesn't have to bond and to fix all of those things. And again, it's a philosophical way to think. And you know, to me, it's better to spend a little than to not spend any and then spend a lot. And at today's money prices, it costs you a lot more. Where at today's cost to do work, it costs more. The money price is a little bit better this way. But you know, part of the other part of what I want you to know about me is also the way I care about people. One of the things when I became the mayor of Paramus, we had a very poor safety record. So poor that we had somebody get run over. We had somebody that got crushed in a cave-in. And what I realized, and part of it was because of my history of where I came from. I came from a union environment. I came from an organization that had a culture, which is the largest utility in the state of New Jersey, that had a culture where that when people got hurt, though we didn't like it, it really was never addressed. So we would put the Band-Aid on it, send them back out, but we never realized why that happened. Until we got to the point where we were losing people's lives, and we had the highest death rate in the nation in our industry. And so the company came and said that it's unacceptable, we're not going to tolerate it, and we're going to do something about it. Why? Because we wanted the people to go home the way they came every day. We wanted them to go home to their wife, their kids, their mother, their father, their families. So when I became the mayor, I was still working, but I saw this correlation, and I said, I'm just not going to accept it. I'm not going to allow it. So what I did is I got the unions together, and I said, listen, this is it. We're going to focus on safety. We're going to focus on preventing accidents. We're going to focus on making sure your workers are safe. Not everybody liked that, but the other side was, and if you don't do it, you're going to get penalized. And so what I did was I went out and bought them every safety piece of equipment they needed. I bought all their personalized safety equipment. I put lights on trucks. We put more lights on police cars. We did everything. And then I went to them. I said, are you ready to start my program? And they said yes. And sure enough, it's a culture change. But at the end of the day, every one of those unions, especially the Teamsters, which had the highest, you know, the sanitation workers, the DPW workers, all those workers, they had the highest injury rate. They came back to me, now this is the International Teamsters representative, came back to me and said, thank you. Thank you for caring about my members. Thank you for caring about their safety. And we're 100% behind you, so that if you have to take disciplinary action on the guys that I bought steel-toed shoes for, and he wore sneakers and he had his foot crushed, we're okay with you docking time from him. This is the union telling me that. Why? Because I cared about the people. I care about the people. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about people. You represent the county. You are the faces to the people of Bergen County. You represent Bergen County. You're in the trenches every day. You're out in front of the people every day. So I want you to feel good about working for the county. Because if you feel good about what you do, the people are going to see that. And I want the people to see that. I want the people to understand and know why you're doing what you do. Because they're paying taxes. They're paying money to have you do what you do. And so if they feel good about it, then at the end of the day, you don't hear, well, my county taxes are too high. Why? Because they're getting the services they want. They're getting the people to help service them. So it's about caring about the people. It's about me caring about you. It's about you caring about the people of Bergen County. Let me touch on just a couple things that I think are important that I believe are, some issues with you. Bergen Regional Medical Center. To me, it's an asset that the county needs to own and continue to operate. I don't believe it's operating the way it should be today. I think that, and I know that the contract's going to end. I believe it needs to have a better contract. I believe that we need to do infrastructure improvements there. The other piece of it is I believe that the county needs to have a better overall health plan. And what I mean by not a health plan is as your health plan, but an overall plan of what the county's responsibility is and what do we want to do to provide health care to people. And that also includes Rockland. I went up there the other day. I'm part of the health committee. I met with Jerry. I did an unannounced visit. I saw the security report. I reviewed it with Jerry and the committee. I wanted to go up there myself and take a look at the place myself. I have to tell you, I was very impressed with the facility and the way the people take care of the residents and the cleanliness of the facility. I had some issues with the infrastructure of the facility.
We all do. They've turned their back on it.
But at the end of the day, I have to tell you, I mean, I've been into many nursing homes throughout my my lifetime for my mother, my father, and my mother-in-law. And there's not many places that you can go that you don't have some scent of an unpleasant odor. There's not any scent of that odor up there. The way I saw the people care, and again, this was unannounced, so no one knew I was coming. The way the residents were taken care of, the way the cleanliness of the kitchen is, I was truly impressed. So impressed that, for me, it's another asset. And I believe that we have an obligation to offer help to people that can't afford high-priced nursing home care. And I think the testament that I saw there were 2 employees had their relatives there. That says a lot. So for me, Bergen Regional and Rockley need to be looked at as an overall plan of what do we want to do as the county in providing some overall health care. We need a plan. And that's one of the things I talked about when I ran for office, and that's why I'm glad that I got put on the health committee, and it's one of the things that I'm working with Freehold Azure on. Unfortunately, we've not been privileged to any dialogue on the other side of the house in regards to what anything is being discussed in regards to Rockley and or Bergen Regional. So I can't answer any questions in regards to what the administration's position is because they haven't told us. But I can tell you what my position is. Some other things, contract negotiations, I believe that should be done over the bargaining table. We need to sit down, we need to do it, and we need to do it fairly. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to give the store away, but I'm also going to tell you that I'm not going to let people work for years without a contract. I just don't believe in that. I don't think it's fair. And when I negotiate a contract and I shake my hands with somebody, you can take that to the bank. That's the end of it. Again, that's you go back and please, if you doubt me or you're not sure, go talk to the people, the unions and parameters. Go to those people. I've met with some of the unions here, I've talked with Jerry, but I've talked with some other law enforcement unions and some others. They've gone back and talked to their brothers in Paramus, and they've come back to me and said, everything that you told us was absolutely verified by them. So, you know, I have a track record. That's the other piece of this whole thing.